Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick Foley.
My name is Marques White.
And we welcome you, as always, to
the Wrevolution.
So, tonight is Wednesday night war.
And boy, did they not disappoint.
Yeah, this was... I'm going to scooch this a little closer. I don't know. I feel so insecure when it's so far away from my face. This was fantastic on both ends, which is great because...
Thank you.
You
Seriously.
know, last week was a
yikes.
As I said last week, y'all can't both take a dump in the same week.
Yeah, no. And then y'all came out swinging this week. I'm gonna be honest. This took me back to like when we first started on the very first night of the Wednesday Night Wars, and that's what this felt like tonight. Like y'all both came out the gate hot.
So, congratulations.
Props to you guys tonight. Seriously.
So we're gonna kick things off as always with the black and gold of NXT.
Yes, so NXT tonight, if my phone wants to open up. NXT was very good tonight, and right before the show actually was announced, there was an announcement that at Portland, TakeOver Portland, we're getting Dakota Kai versus Tegan Knox in a no-holds-barred match.
I can't remember if it was no holds barred or a street fight, but still, I mean,
same difference.
You could have done more. I'm not going to complain because it's going to be good. And,
you just wanted to sell.
And the whole night was good. But you could have done more. I mean, I'd have been okay. I would have settled for a steel cage.
Yeah, this does feel like this is one of those feuds where it actually deserves the steel cage, or this instead of just, it's in a steel cage because reasons.
At WrestleMania, you will face The Undertaker. And it will be inside hell in a cell.
And you're just like, huh?
Why? But okay.
So, out the gate, we get the Broserweights. Yes, the winners of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics are here, and they're showing off their new modified golf cart.
And it's a thing now.
It's a thing now.
They have their own Titantron. They have their own entrance theme. They have their own golf cart.
And the Dusty Rhodes Classic trophy is perched gloriously on top with a spotlight on the back of the golf cart pointed right at the trophy.
It's like riding where it's like the Pope Mobile.
Yeah.
It literally looks like it's in the back of the Pope Mobile.
It's hilarious, and it says Broserweights on it. It's great. I love it. And the promo they cut is fantastic. Matt Riddle is just so into it. Pete Dunne he's there, and it's just his facial reaction, or rather lack thereof, is just great.
How much fish would Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? And it got over.
Not only over,
chanted
by the crowd like multiple times. So yes, the Undisputed Era come out, or more so Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
To which my exact reaction is, hey, where's Adam Cole? Doesn't he talk for y'all?
Yeah, apparently they can actually speak for themselves. So you have Kyle O'Reilly saying that they don't want to wait till Portland. And he's like, do we want to wait till Portland? I don't want to wait till Portland. You don't want to wait till Portland? He keeps repeating that. And then finally Roderick Strong comes out and is like, bro, you got to chill.
We have bigger fish to fry. Bobby Fish said fish. To which, to be fair, I said that before Matt Riddle did.
He did.
It's like, oh man, Bobby Fish just said fish.
And then immediately Riddle says it, and then that's when we get the...
Maybe that's why I don't like Matt Riddle, because he's secretly me.
And then we get the how much fish could Bobby Fish fry chant going on. Oh. And that was great, so... I loved everything about this segment. Pete Dunne, of course, finishes with the "we're gonna smoke you" comment. So that's just great. I can't wait to see this match at TakeOver Portland. It's going to be a fantastic match. I love this tag team. I hope it lasts. I hope they win the tag titles, and I hope this team lasts together for quite a bit.
Now, you and I did speculate to what would be a very, very interesting thing.
Yes.
Pete Dunne has not had very good luck with tag team partners in the past.
No, he has not. In fact, Mr. Roderick Strong was...
looking at you.
Yeah. So...
what are the possibilities that Matt Riddle winds up with the Undisputed Era? terrifying to think that would be their 5th member.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have the obvious choice, which is that Pete Dunne turns on Riddle. But that's just too obvious, right?
Oh, no, that's going to happen. But he's not going to join any stable. He's just
going to
freaking Dunne.
He's just going to be Pete Dunne, and I'm
fine with that.
I'm okay with that. So, then we get Angel Garza. So he's
with
still...
no Zelina Vega.
With no Zelina Vega. So he's still on NXT, which I'm okay with that. And he comes out, and he's having a match against whose house?
Swerve's house.
Yes, Isaiah Swerve Scott. And this was a good match.
Swerve. You know, I like both of these guys. They're both fantastic competitors. Yeah. And, you know, the Cruiserweight division has been really flourishing since it hit NXT. And we'll see that later in the night more than in this match. I mean, this match wasn't bad, but that match was...
No, that match was... Yeah, but... No, this was a good match. I love Swerve. A little disappointed with the outcome. I mean, although you are trying to push Angel Garza, I guess. So Swerve does eat the pin here. Garza wins with a wing clipper at the end. But very highly contested matchup. Great match.
And Garza made it clear from the very beginning he wants another shot at Jordan Devlin.
And right after that, he does have it cut a promo a little after the match too. He's bragging about his victories over Rey Mysterio. He brags about the attack on Humberto Carrillo, and he says he wasn't the one that ate the pin at Worlds Collide. He didn't lose himself the title. It was Swerve. So by that logic, I'm owed a rematch. So
I mean, that's how WWE works anyways, right?
Yep. And he says he knows that the Cruiserweight Champion is here tonight. He wants his rematch. So then we go on to the Undisputed Era wandering about backstage. And they are looking for Ciampa.
Where's Ciampa?
They are pissed.
Have you seen Ciampa?
And they are just beating up, attacking random workers, random people around Full Sail. Like
it's great.
It's great. We come back from commercial break, and they show Sergeant Slaughter. He's in the crowd.
Slaughter, it looks like you haven't aged today, man.
Yes,
you look good. Good shape.
And then we get Dominic Dijakovic
versus Killian Dane.
My, was this a good match. This is, if you like your big, sweaty men...
Yeah, Clash of the Titans, man.
This was a match for you.
Look, I've been watching Dane since he was on the Indies. So have you. Always been a big Killian Dane fan. And DD, you really showed up today. Not that I've ever particularly had flaw with your work, but you really look good in the ring.
Well, I liked the little like pre-match segment they showed too in the backstage, where Dane walks up to him. He's like, "You think you're just owed a title shot? Like, no, you're not getting a title shot. You're in my way." And then Dijakovic just goes, "So you trying to fight?"
I'm trying to fight. No, you're in my way.
No, you're in my way, and then shoves him out the way. Like, that was great. I like that.
Also, shout out for the Tool shirt.
Sorry, Dame.
I see you, Killian.
Sorry, you, Damo.
Oh, man. Bring back the name.
So, yeah, this was, your classic big men match, except good, because both of these men are phenomenal athletes. You got Dijakovic flying all over the ring, doing moonsaults from the second and the top rope. We got topes, Killian Dane just throwing his weight around figuratively and literally.
These men, again, they're both huge humans, but they both know how to work a ring.
Yeah, Dijakovic's like, 6'7", like near 300 pounds. Dane is 300 plus pounds.
Isn't it funny that last week when we were talking about the Archer match, you were like, wasn't Dijakovic like 7'3"?
I thought he's a big boy, but then
Killian Dane's like, they're like, yeah, Dane's 6'4", and we're like, huh? What?
And they're like, Dijakovic's only 6'7". I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, only
6'7", but I mean,
he play forward in the NBA
or tight end.
Yeah,
in the NFL. So
I mean, he kind of looks like Gronk.
A little bit.
Not as beefy, but
not at all. But he's still a big boy. So in the end, Dijakovic does win this match with the Feast Your Eyes finisher, and it's funny because the commentators are like talking about, well, what does Dijakovic have to do to get a championship match?
And Mauro goes, Well, I actually just received word before today
Graphic pops up at the bottom of the
that
screen.
Dominic Dijakovic will be getting a championship match at TakeOver Portland against Keith Lee.
We, the audience, knew before Dijakovic because then Keith Lee comes out to inform him.
Yeah, he goes, hey, man, good work out there today. You know, I'm really proud of you. He goes, I just want to let you know I just found out at TakeOver Portland, it's going to be you and me for this. Let the best man win.
So, I wasn't excited for another one of these matches. Don't get me wrong, they're always great. But when you've seen so many, it's like, but, I mean, watching Dijakovic work again, I mean, just reminded me how great he is. And we already know how amazing Keith Lee is. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Right. It feels like we've been almost spoiled.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Can't complain about good matches. I mean, God forbid, right? Me complaining about
after
after
Raw watching
and SmackDown.
last week's Wednesday night shows.
Yeah, I will never complain about good wrestling again. I swear.
I've just seen this match too much.
Yeah. So then we go again backstage with the Undisputed Era, still looking for Ciampa, and they find instead Kushida, and they ask him a simple question. Where's Ciampa? Who responds in kind with a slap to the face to Adam Cole, and he gets beat down for his trouble.
And thrown through the top of a garbage can.
Yeah. And then they beat down another guy, but pardon me, I don't recall his name as he hasn't been seen on TV in weeks. But
Big dude.
big guy, kind of new.
Tatted a little bit.
Samoan, so I'm not.
Is it The Rock's cousin?
No, it's
Or is it
another Samoan Joe?
Is it The Rock's cousin's cousin?
Potentially, we don't know.
I mean, they're all from the same family, right?
Yeah, the Samoan dynasty. So
Yeah.
yeah. So they attack that guy, and then they go on about their way. Next, we come to the highly anticipated Finn Balor Johnny Gargano interview, and I said that sarcastically, but boy,
Yeah,
did
they blew me out of the water.
my tone changed quickly because these guys were throwing haymakers verbally.
This was a work shoot.
Yeah, yeah.
They were like, "Hey guys, you guys know each other really well. Just throw haymakers at each other and have fun. Good luck."
So Balor starts off and he's like, I've been hearing all about Johnny Wrestling, Johnny NXT, Johnny Takeover. Let me tell you something. You're not the next Finn Balor. And then Johnny responds, you're right, I'm not Finn Balor. I'm the first ever NXT Triple Crown champion. I've had more Takeover main events than anyone, and that includes you.
I am the one and only Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, so that infuriates Mr. Balor. But then Johnny hits him with a big one. He says,
Now that's the look that I want to see in Portland. That is the NXT Finn Balor. And you better bring the NXT Finn Balor, because the SmackDown or Raw Finn Balor isn't going to cut it. You're not out here losing to Bobby Lashley 17 weeks in a row on Raw or something like that.
Woo! Woo!
Wow. Yeah, work, shoot.
So then Finn Balor goes, you're not going to get that guy. He's dead. And look, I don't care about having match of the year or whatever. I don't care if this match goes 30 minutes or 30 seconds. I don't get paid by the hour. They're not going to have a match of the year. I'm going to have the match of your life. It's going to be the last match of your life.
And then Johnny Gargano cuts this impassioned promo about, I'm going to pick up the banner that you left behind, and I'm going to present it proudly the way I have since you left, and I'm going to plant it through your heart.
And as Johnny Gargano gets up to leave and walks away, Finn Balor goes, I don't have a heart. I can't wait. These guys are going to tear each other apart. It's going to be, regardless of what Finn Balor wants or says, it's going to be one of those 30-minute classics.
This is going to be a match of the year candidate.
Oh, yeah. I don't care what you say, Meltzer. Give it 5 stars if it deserves it.
He's usually fair with NXT.
Hopefully.
And then there's the main roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a match of the year candidate. But we get another possible match of the year candidate announced later tonight. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yes. So up next we get one of the only low point of the night for me.
Aww.
And it hurts because I like both of these women.
Casey.
Casey Catanzaro versus Mercedes Martinez.
I love Katie Catanzaro, and like, this is just not your matchup.
No.
Like, Katie Catanzaro versus, like, I don't know, Candice LeRae. That'd be great. That would be a great match.
Yeah, I didn't get the idea.
These styles don't mesh at all.
Not at all.
They both look good.
Yeah.
They both got their licks in, but it just didn't mesh.
No, it wasn't I don't want to say sloppy, because, I mean, it wasn't, but it was just, at times, it was like, that could have been just a little bit better. Like, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. I wasn't, like, invested in the match.
It would be hard for me to believe that these two have any kind of in-ring chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they've been working in the Performance Center consistently with one another. Because, I mean, they both were in the Performance Center for a while with each other.
And again, Casey is still relatively new to the business. So.
Yeah, well, and Morrow references that during the match. He says, and she's done all these things. She looks the way she does. She's looking relatively good. She's in the embryonic stages of her NXT career. She's going to be here for years.
Yeah, hopefully. So,
yeah, I hope Casey sticks with it. She's been doing fantastic.
Yeah, I just hope her gimmick doesn't be the woman who does crazy things on the turnbuckle, because...
You don't want her to be Kofi from the Rumble?
No, that can't be a gimmick. Hopefully we flesh out her character a little bit more as the years go on. But Mercedes does pick up the victory with a Fisherman Buster.
Yeah, normally I'm one to complain about finishers that don't look like they're going to do much, but I'm kind of happy to see this.
Yeah.
It's different. It's new. I mean, it's not...
And it's not a friggin' belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I just, whipped back out the Vader Bomb, Killian Dane, or the leg drop or something like that. I mean, we...
Could be a Superman punch.
Oh.
Hey, man, if Cena was beating people with the frickin' 5-knuckle shuffle and you got The Rock with whatever the hell that is.
Elbow.
The people's elbow, yeah, so...
Oh, man, the people's elbow, that would hurt really bad. That would definitely, I would totally take a pin from that.
It's the most electrifying move in sports entertainment.
An elbow drop to the elbow.
Yeah, I mean, that'll put you out for the 1, 2, 3.
That's going to knock me right on out. I would believe a Superman punch or a 5-knuckle shuffle over that. At least you're hitting him in the head.
And regardless of what you think of, I mean, at least the Hogan leg drop, I mean, that's a grown man dropping his weight across your chest.
That's something that could genuinely kill you if not done in wrestling.
Yeah, it could at least hurt a lot. So, yeah, I'll take the Hogan leg drop out of all of those. But, yeah, that's the match. We go on now to... what I personally was looking forward to since Raw. The only good thing I got out of Raw was that this was happening tonight, and it did not disappoint. So, it doesn't start the way I thought it was going to start, though. And that was with Bianca Belair coming out. And she is not happy because, in case you didn't realize, there's a championship match that does happen before Mania for the NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah, but it's already decided. Rhea wins.
Yeah, obviously. I mean... we're just looking right past that, right? Yeah, Bianca feels the same way. She's like, you just forgot about me? I mean, Rhea, she's got big plans, right? She's going to Raw, making challenges, making statements like this match isn't even going to happen. Like, you're not going to look right past me. I don't give a damn about no queen. I don't care about a queen. Cue Charlotte Flair.
Well, okay, so to be fair, this is the same as Drew McIntyre, looking directly past Ricochet.
Yep.
We all know Brock's winning.
Yes.
The
difference is, though...
almost certainly know Rhea's winning.
Yeah, the difference is, though, it's not... is that I actually could believe Bianca going over Rhea over any chance they put Ricochet over Brock. This isn't like Brock to Ricochet. These two are still fairly evenly matched. So, especially after that performance at Rumble, you gotta think Bianca's flying high momentum-wise, so... I mean, these two are fairly even, and they even displayed in that in the promo that they did tonight that they're kind of keeping all three of these women on equal footing, which I like. Even though, if you're talking about career-wise, Charlotte wins, and it's not close at all. Misses 10 times. God, I don't believe that. But yeah, so the Queen shows up, and she's not even really thinking about Bianca. She's like, you're an amazing talent. giving her like the good hand speech, like, you're extremely athletic. I'm very impressed. Round of applause for you for what you did at Rumble. But yeah, you're not really that important. And as soon as that happens, out comes Rhea Ripley, the NXT Women's Champion.
The NXT Champion.
The NXT Champion. Pardon me. Excuse me. I feel like, did they drop that?
I don't know.
I haven't been listening as in tune as I should.
I mean, they have not been doing it on the main roster. I can assure you of that.
Yes. So I have to listen more in tunely next week. But yeah, Rhea Ripley comes out, and her and Charlotte kind of get into it. And Bianca's like trying to get into that like three-way mix, and then Charlotte just kind of shoves her aside, and Bianca gives that like, "Girl, oh no, you didn't," kind of look. And then
you wanna go at that again?
No, because
"Girl, oh no, you didn't."
And she
what was that?
That is literally what she did, and then she just kept for like another like 2 to 3 minutes, just giving that like shocked, like she did not look for like ever. And I'm just sitting here.
She cuts back in, and Charlotte goes, honey, this conversation's for champions. Why don't you go ahead and stand over there and fix your braid?
That infuriated Rhea Ripley, which she comes to the defense of her fellow NXT superstar and says, look, Charlotte, I didn't come to Monday Night Raw, to your home, and insult you and your division, so you're not going to come to NXT and do that to me. Around here, we have a saying.
In case you forgot.
We are NXT. And then they both attack Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. That was good. It was a good segment. No complaints. I wish I would have got answers. No complaints.
I mean, they're doing this thing where they're gonna drag this Charlotte thing out for about.
Oh, so you mean like the John Cena Undertaker thing?
Yeah.
Where like literally up until the day of, there wasn't even a match.
It'll probably be. I'm assuming an announcement will be made after elimination. Not elimination. After a Super Showdown, probably.
Probably.
So for now, they're probably just gonna drag this out about who is Charlotte gonna fight. Like, she did the thing with Bayley last week, and then now she did the thing with Becky, and now she's doing the thing with Rhea. So I mean, they're just dragging it out. And I mean, if it's for my money, I hope you pick Rhea Ripley.
So are we having 4 Elimination Chamber matches this year?
I have no idea what the Chamber is.
World,
a mystery.
Universal, Raw, and SmackDown Women's. I'd be okay with that.
I would.
I mean, if you're going to make it a gimmick pay-per-view, just have everything in the Chamber. Why not? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea personally what they're going to do. I mean, I don't know if they're going to do 1, 2. They might just do the 1.
They've done 2.
They've done 2 in the
past,
year. But I mean, I don't know. I have no idea, and I'm pretty sure WWE probably has no idea either.
No, because
they book this show. They book these shows like week to week, like the day of.
They literally have not looked past Super Showdown yet.
No, not at all. Clearly, as I think they probably forgot Chamber was a pay-per-view, like the rest of us did. So hopefully they get something in the works for that soon. But we then go backstage to, again, the Undisputed Era looking around for Ciampa, and they find him, or rather he finds them, as he takes out the first 3 members of UE relatively easy, and then he gets to the leader, Adam Cole, and they take their fight all the way to the ring.
Yep, they fight at the announce table.
Which has been relocated, apparently.
Not to a good spot either.
No.
The 3 other members of the Undisputed Era catch up with them, attack Ciampa from behind, and then they roll into the ring. The Broserweights come out to even the odds after Ciampa's kicked around a little bit. They separate the guys, and William Regal comes out and says, guys, you want to fight? Get your ring gear on. You get your ring gear on. You have a match tonight.
And that works for all of about 3 seconds, as then the brawl then continues. And these guys just want to tear each other apart. You can see it. And at this point, the crowd's just like, let's just get into this match. But they do eventually separate, and they get back until later in the night we get the match.
Which I'm so glad that they separated, because we got this match.
Yes, so Jordan Devlin, the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, versus Tyler Breeze. And he has been on somewhat of a career resurgence since coming back to NXT.
He's been on a roll, man. Prince Pretty was looking great. We get that same kind of awkward spot to open the match where
Literally
Breeze
the
is
exact same
posing.
segment.
They kick him out of the ring.
It's what happened with Trent Seven and Finn Balor last week.
Yeah. So again, great. I have nothing more to say about this than it was a great match.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. We get the finish, which was Devlin wins with the quite a big headbutt, and then he finishes it off with the Devlin driver. So
still not a fan of that, but that's,
no.
You know what? It was a fantastic match. It was extremely high paced. Both of these guys really got some good licks in.
Oh yeah.
This is the kind of wrestling I like to see. This is the kind of stuff that makes me want to pick NXT sometimes.
So we then get the Undisputed Era coming out for the main event of the evening.
Is it just me, or is my chair significantly lower than when we started?
No, I think you're just a smaller person.
I'm shrinking.
So yeah, the Undisputed Era comes out, but then Ciampa and Broserweights attack them during their entrance. So we don't even get the Era's entrance, and for that, you get a thumbs down, because I love their entrance.
So
as you can see.
We find out that it is the OG Undisputed Era against
no Roddy Strong.
the Broserweights and Tommaso Ciampa. That's okay. Just like with the Bianca Belair conversation, this is for champions.
Yes, although Roderick Strong did make his presence known multiple times throughout the match, interfering constantly, attacking Pete Dunne throughout the match, and because again you got the angle of that was how he turned and joined the UE. Originally was by attacking and turning on his partner Pete Dunne. So I like that kind of that angle, playing off that storyline. This match was great. It was definitely the match to go out on for the night.
Absolutely.
Definitely main event caliber.
But the finish was not the spot to go out on.
I understand why.
I do too.
Because
it sets up the spot to go out on.
And you also you don't want to give that away. You don't want to make any man in either team look weak by eating the pinfall. So I get why they don't.
Roderick Strong with the disqualification, attacking Pete Dunne.
Just blatantly interference.
Dunne was going for it looked like he was setting up for the bitter end,
yes.
And he was attacked. Or no, Ciampa, was in the ring, and he was attacked, right? Yes, Ciampa. Sorry. It's been a long day. And then
the Undisputed Era just starts beating the crap out of everybody because you get that 4-on-3 man advantage.
The lights go out.
We finally get our answer to the numbers.
2, 5, 20.
And then it's 3 inside of 3 circles. And then they form the triangle.
The Velveteen Dream is back. And he is on fire.
Yeah, he appears on top of the turnbuckle behind them.
With a purple spotlight.
With a purple spotlight, of course. Which it's funny because I like how they did that. They got everybody in the crowd focused on what was happening in the Titantron so that no one noticed that he got in the turnbuckle. Mm-hmm. So when that spotlight appeared, it was like, it caught everyone off guard.
Yep.
Which was fantastic. Because normally sometimes the crowd will ruin those little like surprise spots. You'll hear him cheering in the background. So I was happy that didn't happen this time. He looked amazing. And the best part about that segment was what he was wearing on his tights.
Oh, no.
So, on his tights, he has a picture of Roderick Strong's wife and kid. And on the back it says, "Call me up, Marina." Yikes.
I get that Roddy injured you, but bro.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You can't be going all Bobby Lashley here, buddy.
I mean, why not? It worked for him. It worked for Bob.
I don't want to see that.
The only complaint I had with this is that it kind of felt like a go-home show. It felt like it was the go-home show for TakeOver. And there's another week. What are you going to do next week? Contract signing. Contract signing.
I mean, that's the thing with NXT though. When it's going well, is that every week can feel like it's the show before a takeover, which is why I was so annoyed last week. So, welcome back NXT.
Welcome back from the dead.
Thank you. I'm glad you've returned to us. And you weren't alone because your competitor. Well, let's just say
it was Dynamite. But first, let's get into our our match of the night MVP for NXT.
So, this is hard. This is difficult because I really liked the match at the end with the Undisputed Era versus the Broserweights and Ciampa, but I also like the Jordan Devlin and Tyler Breeze match. And the only reason I'm going to pick that match over the 6-man tag team match was because you actually had a finish.
Yep.
So
I'm going to take that match as well. MVP for you?
This is also difficult because there was a lot of important people throughout the night that did a lot of important things. So I might have to give it to frick. This is actually this is quite difficult, but you know what? I'm gonna give it to Johnny Gargano.
Okay.
For that fire promo you cut on Finn Balor.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. It's not going to change my mind, though. MVP for tonight, Tyler Breeze. Didn't think I'd be uttering those words in the year 2020. But Tyler Breeze, hell of a showing. And I do have a fight mode fighter of the night for NXT, Mr. Velveteen Dream.
All right.
So we will move on to All Elite Wrestling's Dynamite, and it was absolutely fantastic tonight. You are back.
Thank you. Like I told Nick when we were switching from NXT to AEW, I said, all right, that's 1 out of 2, but if AEW isn't good tonight, I don't care. I'm going to still go off. Like I needed 4 hours of good wrestling tonight after what we suffered through for SmackDown
Wednesday.
And Raw. And you realize we had 3 straight nights of bad wrestling?
Yep, that is 9 hours of bad wrestling.
And we didn't even get to review SmackDown. So that was just...
Oh, we're lucky for that. So first of all, I'd like to point out that throughout the show, it was very apparent that the TNT contract extension kicked in.
All the pyro.
Pyro was very, very prevalent.
People that didn't have pyro before have pyro now.
People who did have pyro have about 3 times as much pyro. And it's not a complaint. Just like WWE with the Fox money, that TNT contract extension money's coming through, and boy, does it look beautiful.
They definitely put the POW and Dynamite there.
Yeah, well, I think what's really nice about this is, instead of doing something with the money, like, oh, let's upgrade the stage, let's do this or that, they're like, we are going to absolutely show up and show out on TNT. Like, they're reinvesting the money into TNT, which is kind of cool. But
hopefully they use it to go get some more signings too. So.
Yes. Well, we have allegedly one coming in February, which will be Brody Lee. Possibly 2 additional signings in February, although those may not happen.
I'm thinking women's division.
I'm thinking
women's division. You need to go get all the women's talent you can.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Please.
And then, of course, we have Matt Hardy and the Revival, who are all high key.
I mean, the Revival is all but gone at this point. So.
And the Revival is pretty much... Revival and Matt Hardy have pretty much just come out and said, I want to go to AEW. I want to go to AEW.
Yep. So AEW Dynamite tonight was live from Huntsville, Alabama. Hot crowd for Bama.
I'm going to be honest with you. Huntsville's not a huge town. I mean, it's not small by any means, but it's not a huge town. So to see the hot crowd that we did, it wasn't huge.
And I mean,
that's fine.
And I know they didn't have to, fight through a snowstorm. They didn't have to fight through hell and Armageddon and all that fun stuff to get to the arena.
Yeah, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse were riding through the streets of Salt Lake.
Yeah, but still, thank you, Alabama, for showing up and showing out.
Yeah, you guys did a fantastic job. And Like I said, I mean, just looking at it, it's probably a 10,000 seat arena. It was pretty full.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't sound huge because y'all are used to, WWE numbers, which are like, 16,000 seats, but WWE doesn't sell those out. AEW is not going to sell those out. We know that because when they go to Atlanta in a couple weeks, it's going to probably look like a WWE crowd.
And don't let WWE fool you either. We've been to enough SmackDowns to know.
Hey guys, you're all on the hard cam side. We're going to move you over here real quick.
Yep, the amount of times we used to see Joe Lou when it was a thing, and now little LCA just completely have half the stadium blacked out.
Oh yeah, well they close off the upper deck. They used to have the upper deck available for WWE events, and now they close off the upper deck anywhere past the camera shot.
Who's really got the upper hand here?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
spitting facts.
We
noggin.
we kick things off with Jon Moxley
versus Ortiz,
which was a good
really good match. Yeah. Their styles definitely meshed because they're both insane.
Jericho was on commentary with Sammy Guevara.
The entirety of the Inner Circle minus Santana was on commentary, except, Jake Hager was there.
He probably had a headset on.
Yeah, probably. Just standing behind them. But yeah.
Santana was at ringside.
Having Sammy Guevara and Jericho on commentary made this match so much better.
Jericho talking about how it had been over 580 days since Ortiz had last wrestled in a singles match, and it didn't show.
Yeah.
He was ready to go in the ring, brought the Tiger style.
Yep.
And there were a lot of really good spots, but the thing that I loved most, and I will say this every single week, they went after the eye.
Yes.
They thank you for noticing that there is continuity in a storyline.
It's kind of hard to. It's not like there's a big target right there. So if you don't attack the eye, then I don't know what you're doing. So, yeah. That it was a great match. I loved the fact that these two are insane, and they definitely displayed that throughout the match.
Moxley displayed it after the match too.
Yeah.
So Ortiz goes for a move. He's countered into a paradigm shift. 1, 2, 3.
And then Santana comes in the ring, tries to attack Moxley from behind, and he gets a paradigm shift for his troubles.
Moxley celebrating in the ring, and then he goes into his pocket. And he pulls out the keys to the Ford GT40, the $750,000 car.
Jericho's
most expensive production car in America. Looking at you, Chevy. Where are you at with the Corvette?
Yeah, Jericho's livid on commentary. That's my car.
And he takes the keys and he puts the keys right here between his first two knuckles. He grabs Santana's head. He looks at Jericho and he goes, "And I for an eye," and stabs the keys into Santana's eye. This one, unlike the one with Jericho, looked legit.
Yeah, that one that looked painful.
I was terrified.
Yeah,
I thought we just watched a man go blind.
So Inner Circle immediately rushed the ring, and Moxley GTFOs into the crowd, and that was just great. Like everything about that, the eye for an eye. You can already kind of tell where they're going with this. Moxley's probably gonna one by one take out each member of the Inner Circle. I can't wait to see what they do.
This storyline is developing so well, and I cannot wait to see the blow off. Most importantly, as much as I love Chris Jericho, I can't wait to see Moxley with the championship. Can you imagine? I'm gonna sound like JBL for a minute here. I'm gonna sound like JBL for a minute here. Can you imagine that man on your billboards? That man holding your title on talk shows? Like, you never know what he's going to do. That would be so amazing. I'm going to come out and challenge you for a title match. Okay, step in the ring. Paradigm shift.
Yep.
Smack you with a chair for your troubles.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I may not be as much of a Jerichoholic as you are. So
come on, baby!
I'm definitely looking forward to the title getting on somebody else. And someone that I know is going to show up every week.
Well,
talking about you, Riho.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jericho's there every week. At least once a week.
Yeah, I was.
And then there's Riho.
Yes. So next we get the SCU versus the
Bad best friends with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
Yes. This was fantastic.
Again, tag team wrestling in AEW is bananas. I can't wait to have the revival.
Yeah, the tag team wrestling in AEW is always, like, since their inception, has always been amazing. And this is just another display of it, because they have so many teams, and every single one is fantastic.
You know what the funny thing is? We complain about Angelico and Jack Evans, but I bet you if they showed up on WWE, they'd at least be in the top 50% of tag teams.
I'd hope. I mean, then again, the revival, and the OC isn't, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So this match, again, was really great, and the best friends continue to show how good their in-ring chemistry is, but their chemistry with Orange Cassidy, too. The whole match was awesome, and then we get the spot where all four members are lying on the ground outside of the ring, all had been in a brutal brawl, and Orange Cassidy comes over and lays down in the middle of them.
That was good.
And goes away to commercial. It was perfect. So
what I love the most about this match is that we're getting the showcase of Scorpio Sky again. I love Scorpio Sky. He is definitely, and the announcers even addressed it, he was definitely the MVP of the SCU stable.
But it wasn't just the Scorpio Sky showcase.
No.
Frankie Kazarian looked amazing.
No, he always looks great.
I know, but it looked like he finally got some licks in that he hasn't been able to get in, because we have been showcasing Scorpio so hard.
Now, I'm going to give one negative for this match, and it is the finish, is that it wrapped up kind of out of nowhere, kind of abruptly.
Right. Now, this is something that you and I had talked about on NXT, and I had mentioned it to you, is sometimes when there's a reversal of that caliber, it deserves a finish.
Except, I agree with you for a lot of things, like, but not for just your run-of-the-mill destroyer. I mean, how many times do we see people kick out of a destroyers nowadays? It's almost like a super kick where it's just lost its impact.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
So, yeah, but yeah, SCU does win with the destroyer. It was a good destroyer, don't get me wrong, but it almost seemed like even the camera guys didn't know that the match was supposed to end there, because, like, the destroyer hits and, like, they were kind of, like, panning away, and it's like 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's it. So
SCU does pick up the much needed win, which will lead to, we find out later in the night, a world tag team match against Hangman and Omega. Gesundheit.
Unfortunately, the spooky perverts attack.
Yeah, so the Dark Order comes out, they attack everybody, and they're all doing the pose. What?
I don't even know, man.
And then Christopher Daniels rushes the ring, and he goes, Come on, I'll take you all on.
Well, you forgot one of the most important parts of the segment.
Yeah, okay.
Orange Cassidy.
Oh, yes.
He was offered an opportunity to join the Dark Order. They present a mask. Evil Uno presents the mask. Orange Cassidy looks at it like he's about to take it, and then, like my friend here just did, puts his hands up in the air, puts them in his pockets, and then they, like jackals to the slaughter, just attack.
I don't know that one hit. Jackals don't get slaughtered.
Jackals to the slaughter, as in they attack their prey.
I'll let it slide this time. And then Christopher Daniels comes down to the ring. The Dark Order refuses to attack him. They slide out of the ring. Daniels lays down, invites them to come back in, and they refuse to attack him, which is interesting. He is their highest recruit from the Exalted One, which we're yet to find out is Orange Cassidy.
Oh yeah, that was one thing we were both saying.
Orange Cassidy as the Exalted One, and then I jokingly said Ryback, and then was like, yeah, please no.
Let's be honest, it's going to be Matt Hardy when he arrives.
It is going to be Matt Hardy. We talked about that. I was like, I guarantee you the Exalted One is Matt Hardy. But, he's not in the company yet, so the Exalted One couldn't currently be Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't even think about this. The voice that they use is kind of like some of the voices from the Broken Universe that Matt hears in his head.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting.
So next we get women's division.
Okay, look. The women's division is improved significantly. And then this match happened.
So it's Dr. Britt Baker.
DMD versus
Yuka! She's back!
they literally put it in quotes.
In quote, she has
the magical girl, Yuka Sakazaki.
And fun fact, she hasn't had a match since June 29th, 2019. That was her last match in AEW.
She hasn't had a win.
It was a Fighter
Fest. She hasn't had a win.
She's
in
also
AEW.
she's 0-2.
Until tonight.
Until tonight when she pins Dr. Britt Baker flush 1, 2, 3.
So I get it. Okay, I do. I know you took an issue with it.
Oh, I'm angry.
I get it.
I get it, but I don't like it. I don't have to like it.
You want Britt to continue down this path of finding a need to be psychotic. You don't want to. I mean, you don't want her to just turn heel for the sake of turning heel. Looking at you, WWE. It's not just I'm just gonna beat up John Cena today.
Although that's kind of what they did, though.
So she gets very frustrated with the loss, grabs the ring bell, and clocks her in the back with it.
Yeah, not a very impressive hit. Like it didn't really.
That's a pretty heavy ring bell, but it's not very impressive.
No,
then
but then
winds it up over her head, and Aubrey Edwards grabs it out of her hand,
and then
gets out of the ring.
I'll tell you though, what was impressive is what she does next. She takes Yuka, inserts her mouth on the bottom ring rope.
Which, of course, for those of you who don't know, there are two types of ring ropes. WWE uses ropes. AEW uses cables. Cables are what we're using in WCW. That's what lost Mick Foley his ear.
Yes.
They're not meant to give much.
No. So she puts the bottom rope inside Yuka's mouth. She's got her death gripping it with her teeth. And then
she kicks her in the back of the head. Actually stomps on top of her head.
Stomps on her head. To which Nick replied, I think she just broke her freaking jaw.
And I might have been right. Yuka goes to her mouth.
Just bleeding profusely.
Blood coming out of her mouth. And you look in her hand and she's holding a tooth.
Or a piece of a tooth. So I don't even know. It was... Yikes.
Britt. I love you. Why? Why do I love you? I used to hate you.
Yeah, I have completely
I've come full circle on that.
I've completely 180 on Britt Baker. I love her. I love everything about this character now.
Britt then goes for the lockjaw. Can't lock it in because of how much blood there is in the mouth of Yuka. Takes her hand out, looks at the blood, and then just jams her hand back in and locks in the lockjaw for good 30 seconds.
So, again, my only issue with this is that I think you could accomplish the same thing without having Yuka pick up the victory here. Especially, I get it, but especially when you're trying to build Britt Baker and when you're doing the whole wins and losses thing matter in AEW, then you can't say wins and losses matter and then just have her lose a match to someone who hasn't been on TV since Fyter Fest.
You can, as long as you don't plan on putting the title on her right away.
That is fair. Because
wins and losses matter, yes, but realistically, wins and losses of recent matter more, kind of thing. You know, basketball team starts the year out really bad, they get their star player back, and then they go on a 30-5 run to end the year or something like that. The 30-5 run is going to be what's remembered. So
maybe. I mean, I hope.
Well, that's why they talk about in college football. Talk about rankings. They talk about in college football. If you lose within one of the first couple weeks, you're not out of it. If you lose in the last week of the season, you're done.
Thing is, though, also you only get 2 L's before you're
absolutely eliminated.
So
that's a little different.
So hopefully she doesn't catch her second L here anytime soon. But I still love this segment. But
that's okay because we have a much better competitor for Riho that comes later.
Yeah, but I did love this segment. I'm loving Britt Baker. I'm glad to see Yuka back. I mean, I never disliked Yuka.
I liked her more than Riho.
Yeah, I was just wondered where she's been all these months. Same thing with Riho. So, which is why I was again kind of disappointed that they gave her a victory.
I'll tell you what, dude. Britt looks really, really, really dangerous.
Yes.
And the thing is, you don't have to. I hate to say this. I really hate to say this because I'm a wrestling purist, I suppose. You don't have to be the greatest wrestler in the world to be over or to be a great character. You have the character down, but the difference is you are a good wrestler. Yeah. That is a dangerous combo.
Well, to your point, I mean, there are plenty of people you can point to for that example. I mean, hell, half the wrestlers that a lot of the old-timers grew up on, I mean, let's be honest, Macho Man wasn't exactly a 5-star classic guy, but...
That's one guy I would actually argue from that time period. Macho Man and Steamboat are the two from that time period that I would look at and go, good wrestlers. Now, you want to talk about bad wrestlers? Let's talk about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, well, that's a given. Hogan.
Yeah, he's the most over guy in the history of the company.
And even if we go to modern day, I mean, The Miz is amazing at talking on the mic. His character, down packed. Not exactly the best. He's gotten better over the years.
Oh, he's gotten significantly better.
That's not... The ring work isn't what makes The Miz's character. Right. It's the microphone.
So, Britt, that is a dangerous combination, what you have there. Keep going with it. We are so happy to see you doing what you're doing now.
So then next we get 8-man tag team action as it's the Butcher and the Blade with the Lucha Brothers versus the Elite. The Elite.
And Hangman Page.
Yeah.
Because, he's not a member of the Elite.
A sober Hangman Page, from what we could tell.
Sober yet grumpy.
An angry, sober Hangman Page.
So, this was great.
Oh, I mean, this is amazing.
This is the kind of thing that you go, wow, you gave that away on free TV.
Yeah.
I literally had one thing the entire match that went, eh. And that's when the Butcher very clearly
was gassed
at the end of the match. He was running into the ropes. He took 2 steps and was like, holy God.
And then you had to have Hangman try to muscle him up.
Yeah, I mean, he just had to deadlift him.
He had to deadlift him, and I was just like, I mean, that's impressive for Hangman because Butcher was giving him nothing there. And then we kind of get to the end of this matchup, and so far, I mean, the in-ring chemistry for the Elite's looking good. I mean, everyone's on the same page.
And JR points something out after the match that we will mention, but Hangman did not, throughout the entire match, tag anybody but Kenny Omega.
Yeah. And that's kind of what happens at the end here. He's about to tag in Kenny. He actually injured himself. What was it, coming from the top rope?
Yes, I believe so.
He tweaked his knee. So
he was
or was it the buckshot?
He's kipping up.
It was the kip up. This classic there, and injures his knee. So he's going to tag in Kenny, who gets dragged down.
The Bucks get up on the apron, and he turns around to tag someone. Kenny's not there, and he just goes, I'm good. I got this. Bucks are like, hell are you doing? What do you tag? And then he does not got this as Butcher lays him out. And then we get the Penta Driver for the win. The assisted Penta Driver. I hate you, Hangman Page. I really do. You're an a-hole.
And that's the character coming around doing its work.
Yep. Well, this is the thing that we talked about the whole time. I feel so bad for Kenny.
Yeah, seriously.
Kenny is like the kid caught in the divorce. It's terrible.
Yeah, so after this match, Young Bucks and Hangman are fighting in the ring. Kenny's just trying to bring them all together, and they just aren't having it. No one's having it. They all leave the ring. We go to commercial break, and when we come back, Kenny's having an interview
with Tony Schiavone,
and that is interrupted by Pac.
Kenny. So you won't sign this was supposed to be a contract signing, but you won't sign the contract, will you? No. Well, clearly you don't care about your friend Michael Nakazawa. But what if something happened to little old Riho?
The irony of you tapping me on the shoulder is Riho.
As Riho, yeah.
Yes, so Riho's back.
Thank God for this spot. And Kenny goes, no, okay, I'll sign the contract. Whatever you want, whenever you want. I don't care. I'll sign the contract. And Pac goes, I hope you didn't think that I would lay my hands on a woman. I may be a bastard, but I'm not a beast. But she is.
And out comes the native beast, Nyla Rose.
Powerbomb through the table.
Except the table didn't break because
Riho weighs 60 pounds soaking wet.
All of like 60 pounds, yeah. But still, you felt the impact from that powerbomb.
And this leads us to next week in Texas. We will have a women's world championship match. Riho versus Nyla Rose.
Yeah, Nyla Rose looks at the camera and says, "Yo ass is mine."
Yikes.
Yikes, indeed. I thought she was talking about Kenny Omega at first. I want to see that match.
I do too. Please take the belt off Riho.
Oh, God,
Can we
please.
just let's take a minute? Because normally on Wednesday nights we don't like to do the take a minute and talk about something a little bit outside of the subject thing. Please take the belt off Riho.
I mean, and it'll be funny because if you take the belt off of Riho and give it to Nyla Rose,
Tiny belt giant person.
Well, not even that, but you could have avoided all of this if you had just done that originally in the first place.
Or if you would have put the belt on literally anybody else in the first place.
It was just the irony of it being Nyla Rose when they had the match to decide the first women's champion. You could have just avoided all of this months ago. Just put the belt on Nyla Rose. You made your choice, AEW. You laid in your bed for a couple months.
Riho made her choice.
Yep, and you laid in your bed for a couple months, and I think it's time to get up and change the sheets. So, Nyla Rose, I hope you pick up the victory next week. I'm rooting for you, girl.
If you don't, I don't know. Oh no, I do know why. Oh, no.
I don't think the women's division can recover from Riho holding the belt for much longer. I really don't.
Marcus, I just realized what they're going to do, man. They're going to have the Nightmare Collective interfere, and then we're going to get Nyla Rose versus Awesome Kong at Wrevolution, which I would love to see.
No. Again, the women's division can't survive more of Riho.
But tell me I didn't just book that.
I mean, you did, but I don't want that. I really don't want that. I don't want that.
I want the match. I don't want the consequences of Riho holding the belt for an additional 2 weeks. Yeah, because that's all it is. It's only 2 more weeks.
Yeah, but you got to get that belt off her like now.
Yeah,
like I don't care. Like that belt's got to go.
Well, maybe the Nightmare Collective comes down afterwards.
And AEW has shown in the past that they aren't afraid to do title changes on TV.
Well, so. I mean, when you do 4 pay-per-views a year instead of 16, that happens.
Exactly. Yeah. So, please get this one right. Take the belt off Riho. But enough of me absolutely burying Riho along with the rest of the AEW Women's Division because you've been getting better over the weeks.
Significantly.
I will still bury Riho, but we got too many good things to get on.
And including getting better, here's Penelope Ford side by side with Kip Sabian.
Yes, so Kip Sabian versus Joey Janela. Superbad versus Bad Boy.
Look, it wasn't a bad match.
It's like this whole match is like this whole feud is like Michael Jackson's Bad turned into wrestling.
This was it wasn't a bad match by any means.
I just don't care about this feud.
This is something that should have been taking place on Dark.
Yeah, this is like an AEW Dark feud. I don't look. I like Kip Sabian. I've never been a Joey Janela fan.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I love Kip. Kip's a good guy. Kip's a good wrestler. Oh, well, he's not a good guy. He's super bad. He's a good wrestler. I like Penelope Ford. I don't hate Joey Janela. Hate's a very strong term. I just
don't particularly care for him.
He just needs a lot of work still. He's one of those guys that will get so much better by working with the guys he is working with. But do it on Dark.
Well, what is your character, by the way? Like, I'm a bad boy, but then I'm a face, I guess, now.
He's edgy.
He's edgy, like...
He's edgy. He smokes
cool dude.
and
cool dude.
Has shades.
Cool dude. Like, you're like the whack Bret Hart. Like, I don't care.
Whack
Sorry.
Bret Hart is not even, that doesn't even begin to describe.
Yeah. The biggest thing I got from this match was Jim Ross talking about that they were live from Alabama, and then he throws in a Roll Tide.
Yikes.
JR, you're an Oklahoma
And then he
alum.
says Boomer sooner right after that.
Yeah, you're an Oklahoma alum. Your theme song is Boomer Sooner. You don't get to say Roll Tide.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Now, JR, that was the one slip up on commentary pretty much all night.
Yeah, that was the only time.
He actually made a comment earlier in the night that we were like, wow, actually breaking down a wrestling match. So he was talking about the how Frankie Kazarian over the last couple of weeks has been using the side headlock takedown,
which normally would just be a rest hold in WWE.
He's been doing it rather effectively, and these are the effects of a side headlock takedown. And this is what it does to your opponent. This is what it forces them to do in a tag team match versus a singles match. And I'm like, wow, insight. That's great. Hey, Cole, you taking lessons? But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad match by any stretch of the imagination. I just didn't care. That's kind of like you had said. It's like the Casey Catanzaro match in NXT. It's like,
I just don't care. Not that it was a bad match. I just
yeah.
Sorry, don't care. This is just like NXT, the only low point for the night, I think. So Kip Sabian wins with a roll up after Joey Janela runs into Penelope Ford, and hope she's all right. The funny thing about that is that Kip Sabian gets out the ring and he's walking her to the back instead of just
carry her, bro.
Pick her up, man. What are you doing? So then after we do get the announcement that the tag team titles are going to be on the line.
Yep, and the women's title match, and then we get the announcement for the cage match with Wardlow, which we already knew.
And then
a possible match of the year candidate, 30-minute Iron Man match between Pac and Kenny Omega.
Ooh, I can't wait.
That is going to be a bona fide slobber knocker.
So we take you backstage to the inner circle.
Jericho, oh my gosh. This is why you're my favorite person in the world. He goes, what kind of scumbag would take a spike and jam it into the eye of another human being? What kind of worthless piece of garbage would try to take somebody else's sight from them? I don't know, Chris. What kind of...
Who would dare?
Who would do that?
Who?
But then Santana gets up and he cuts a hell of a promo.
Yeah. Essentially just boils down to eye for an eye. It's going to be Santana versus Jon Moxley.
That's going to be another good match, I think.
It is.
I like to think that anything with Jon Moxley could not possibly be a bad match. So
yeah,
I'm pretty okay with that. And then we get the main event.
Well, before then, we cut the commercial break, and we weren't really paying attention, but I knew it immediately as soon as I saw it, because like the AEW logo flashed, but then it didn't go away. Like, you know, the transition to commercial break wasn't the way it normally is,
which I thought was odd.
Yeah, so I was like, hold up now. And then I started paying more attention, and then you're watching. And so there's a commercial playing. You think it's like for your normal, like, you know, cough medicine or whatever. And you slowly start to realize as you're reading the captions on the bottom and the guys doing the voiceover.
The elite will fall.
That this is a commercial for...
The Exalted One is coming.
For the Dark Order.
Join thedarkorder.com.
It's like this is like the only good thing I like about the Dark Order is that their commercials, their advertising, the way they just pop up out of nowhere.
It's the goofiest stuff. I love it.
It is funny. I'll give it that. It's entertaining in that aspect. Just don't ever get in the ring.
Yes.
So.
And then the main event.
No. So we cut actually backstage to the Young Bucks having an argument with Hangman Page.
Yeah, that's right. Oh God, how could I forget this? This was one of the best moments of the night. One of the Young Bucks goes, "Man, what's your problem?" You know what? I think I know what your problem is. And they take the beer out of his hand and walk away. And Hangman grabs the entire pitcher.
Yeah, he lifts up the whole pitcher and then proceeds to chug from it. So, no, it's not a problem. It's only a problem when he runs out, as we saw from the match earlier.
he has no problem drinking at all. And then the main event.
Which isn't a match.
It's
It's the most uncomfortable thing I think I've seen in quite a while. And that's including The Fiend.
Cody will receive 10 lashes with a belt to the bare back.
So, I was hoping I'd know how I felt about this segment by the time we got here.
I still don't.
I still don't. And
That's what makes me love it.
Yeah, it's not a negative thing, because that's the intended reaction you were supposed to get. Is what did I just watch?
Right. So when wrestling kind of blurs the lines like this and makes you not be able to process things, like my inability to process how I feel about that segment made it one of the best segments I've ever seen.
And I'm gonna just be honest. I think this is probably the best segment AEW has ever done. This is better than the Cody promo. This is the best thing I think I've seen AEW.
I mean it's definitely up there.
The emotion, let's break this down because we gotta describe what happens here.
So Cody gets into the ring with MJF and
There's a referee to count each lash
to make sure that it actually connected. And Cody, if he does not make it to 10 lashes, will not get his match. So he gets in the ring, he takes his shirt off, throws it into the crowd, which I love you, Cody. That's awesome. And MJF goes, well, this belt here, this is Gucci. This is too nice to come into contact with you. I want to use yours. And Cody looks at him like, are you kidding me? He goes, now. Cody takes his belt off. MJF grabs it. Cracks it behind his head. Cody
scares him a little bit. And then we get the first whip. And this is immediately when you said, there's no pull on that.
Yeah, there's no pull on that.
No, there's a...
Like, I could think of a way that you could at least make it a little less...
Well, you didn't have to go full force, but no, he's putting everything he has into each...
You could, like, drag instead of follow through.
Yeah, but no,
MJF whipped him.
Every bit of force that he possibly can muster into each shot.
He whipped him.
You can see the welts popping up on the back.
Uh-huh.
The skin breaking.
Yeah, you could see holes in the back of his skin. You could see holes in his fingers. I'm not sure what those were from. I don't know if he caught a whip across the hand or something.
I think he did. I think one time.
Yeah, he's busted open.
With each hit, Cody's falling down to the ground with each knee, giving it expletives. Just each one is getting more and more.
Arn Anderson comes out, talks to Cody,
tries to coach him up. He's like, "Don't give him the satisfaction.
Don't give him the satisfaction of watching you fall down. Stand up and take this."
Takes another one, immediately falls down to the knee. But then he tries to like Hulk himself back up. So then MJF gives him 2 back-to-back. Like, just no time to rest. Just 1, 2.
Falls down, can't get back up. Brother Dustin comes out.
With the face paint.
Yep. 5 lashes in now. And he goes, look, I'll take the last 5 for him. I'll take them. MJF goes, you want to take the last 5 lashes for your brother? He goes, yes, anything. Just let me take the lashes. He goes, sorry, that's not how this works. You should get outside the ring and watch like the rest of the good little fans. And another whip. And then...
The Young Bucks come out.
They're like, come on, Cody, you got... No, there was one more after that.
There's one more lash, but then the Young Bucks comes out.
You got 3 more, man. You got 3 more. You only got to get three more lashes. You can do this.
He actually rode out the ring, too, to talk to the Young Bucks. It was getting bad. He was struggling to continue on.
The welts very clearly all over his
back.
back.
Up to this point, MJF is hitting him in the same spot, too.
Yes. So he rolls back in the ring. He takes another shot on the other side of the back.
That one did it. That sent him down to the ground. He's in tears.
He begins to hulk back up, struggles to get back to his feet, and then he does. And MJF hands the belt to Wardlow, the 265-pound Wardlow.
Says, I'm giving one to Wardlow. The ref allows it.
Wardlow winds
He's
up, steps into,
like a quarterback in the pocket,
and absolutely blasts Cody across the back.
He collapses.
Borderline in tears.
Collapses. He is in tears. He's crying.
The fans start clapping, trying to get him up. Everybody starts trying to get him up. He gets up to the bottom rope, shakes it, hulking himself up, gets up to the second rope, and collapses.
So the last person to come out, his wife.
Brandy comes out to ringside, and she holds Cody's hand. She says, Cody, it's me. I'm here for you. Cody, I love you. I know that you can do this. You need to do this. I have faith in you. He kisses her on the hand, and she says, one more. He stands back up, takes a chop straight across the shot straight across the back with the belt.
No, in the chest.
Oh yes, that's right.
As soon as he turns around, MJF smacks him right in the chest. I thought he caught him in the face.
I did too. He falls down to his back, rolling around, writhing in pain. MJF visibly upset.
The rest of Cody's friends and family are in the ring. They're trying to support him, lift him up. MJF's furious because now Cody's another step closer to getting that match.
MJF turns around, runs, and full blast kicks Cody in the nards.
Yep. Knee to the bollocks.
Cody goes down. MJF and Wardlow run out, escape through the crowd, go to the top.
And that's how AEW is supposed to go off the air.
And then a fan attacked MJF. Now,
we don't know if it's not a plant or not.
AEW has been known to in the past,
a lot of wrestling companies have.
Yeah. And the only reason I would say that it might not have been is because the fan is immediately removed from the equation, and Wardlow, you can see him absolutely kicking the living hell out of the fan behind the curtain. It looked like that was one of those scenes where MJF and Wardlow were supposed to pose at the end or something like that. And
because JR sounded very confused. He's like, I don't know what the hell is going on up there.
And they cut away immediately too. That's the reason that I thought it was fake, it was real, because when a plant fan attacks, usually it's like they want you to see that. When it's not a plant, usually they'll cut away because they don't want you to see somebody trying to get into the ring or somebody trying to attack somebody. So they cut away immediately. They cut back to, I think it was the people on the stage, which was a whole brand full of people who hate Cody.
Yep.
And then they pan back to MJF, and you just see Wardlow absolutely teeing off on this dude in the back. So,
you get what you deserve, right?
Real or fake, MJF was attacked at the end of the show by a fan.
And let me just side note. Let me just say this real quick. We are both avid lovers of professional wrestling. We're passionate about what we do and what we watch, but we also have common sense. And if you are also passionate wrestling fans and you go to these events and you spend your hard-earned money, that's fine. Say whatever you want, within reason, obviously. Boo, cheer, whatever. Get involved. But don't be dumb. There's a line, and you don't cross it. At the end of the day, this is a performance. They're there to entertain you. You do not put your hands on a wrestler. You do not cross that boundary. You do not get in that ring. And if you do, you get what's coming to you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Use your common sense. These guys, they fake fight. It's scripted fighting. Every single one of these guys is trained in combat.
Whether it be some form of martial arts or a form of football or wrestling.
Literally just boxing.
Yep.
Every single one of these guys has been trained in some form of combat. Every single one of these guys trains every single day, works out every single day, and every single one of them could kick your candy ass.
The referee could kick your ass.
Yeah. Aubrey would kill you.
Yes. So be smart, use your brains, just don't do that. And if you do, I'm sorry, you're stupid. And you're just making
You're not a wrestling fan.
No, you're just making the rest of us look bad.
You don't belong.
It's an embarrassment.
You're the kind of people that made the Shield stop coming through the crowd. You're the kind of people who make us lose cool experiences like this.
Exactly. You're not cool. You're not No one cares about you. You're not going to get famous off of this. You're just
No.
dumb. So I'm not going to spend any more time on that.
The one thing I will say, though, is whether this was a fan or not, this blurred the lines of reality.
Yes.
Which is something you like to see in wrestling. And another thing you like to see in wrestling is somebody with enough heel heat to genuinely draw that kind of thing.
My only fear is that if this is a work, you keep doing stuff like this, eventually you might get something real like that happening.
Yeah.
Because, again, people sometimes get a little too impassioned, and if whether they're drunk or stupid, someone might do something they regret.
Now, that's the thing. Back in the day, before wrestling was outed, I suppose, as scripted, I mean, it was somewhat widely accepted, but it wasn't outed as scripted. You got that kind of thing. Heel heat, I mean, people were literally walked up to and punched on the street, fair in the square in the face. It's way too late. Square in the face because of their in-ring persona. So, MJF, you're doing your job, bud.
Yes.
You're doing a hell of a job of it.
I hate you.
But please stay safe, dude. Like, I love you as a heel. I think you're one of the best heel workers in the company, probably in the world today. I mean, I can't even think of... I mean, I'd put you more heel than Chris Jericho. And, yeah. So, just please stay safe, dude, because we, as wrestling fans, as a community, we cannot lose you.
Yes.
You are far too good at your craft.
So, that's how Dynamite wraps up. We got past the most uncomfortable thing I think either one of us have ever seen, at least in recent
live
memory.
TV?
On live TV in recent memory.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
let's get into our match of the night. I'll let you go first, Nicholas.
I'm going to take the 8-man tag team match. The Elite and Adam Page versus the Butcher Blade with Bunny and the Lucha Bros.
I am also going to take the 8-man tag team match. It was good from start to finish. There was no abrupt finish or anything. It was a good match. It was a great match. And it has some of my favorite wrestlers in the world. I mean, Lucha Bros, the Elite, how can I not love it? Match of the night, clearly. Now let's go MVP. Same thing. I'll let you go first there, bud. This was a challenging choice for you.
Normally I write it in my pretty little notes on my laptop here, but you'll notice the MVP section is blank because I don't know what to put here. Do I do MJF for making the uncomfortable? Nick Jackson for putting on an absolute effing athletic show in the 8-man tag team match? Moxley for the key to the eye? Jericho for the great promo work? Orange Cassidy, because he's Orange Cassidy. Or do I take Cody for having the resiliency to, take that beating and not get in the face MJF, not lose his match possibility? Wow, this is really hard. I think I'm going to go with MJF. Without MJF and Cody, this week's episode is not what it is. I mean, it would be up there with some of the best episodes I've ever seen because of that 8-man tag match, because of the way Moxley did what he did, because of Jericho's promo work. Without that last segment, there's no way this. I'm at a loss for words.
So, me and you have similar thinking, but we come to different conclusions. As I am going to pick Cody as my MVP because Cody's a master at this game. First of all, major props to you, Cody Rhodes, for taking those lashes. Every last one of them, all 10. I couldn't do that, and most men couldn't do that. And then also, I know I'm gonna say selling here, even though I know they hurt like hell. But the way you sold each shot, the emotion, the way you gave yourself fully committed into what you were doing, and it was just amazing. The tears, the way you talk to your friends, your brother, your wife, everything about that. It was, again, that's why I say I think this is the best segment up there with the promo you cut a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. So
the thing is with Cody, like if I were in that situation, I would want my lashes back to back to back to back to back to back. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. I want to go.
Oh no, they dragged that mess out.
Take a lash and then take 2 minutes and let that sting sink in, and then your skin finally starts to feel relief, and take another one.
Yeah.
So I suppose we're supposed to move on to compare and contrast here. What was your favorite show tonight?
Gosh, again, I thought this is one of those things where I thought by the end of the night I kind of had my answer, and it's tough. Both NXT and AEW tonight had one low point for the entire night, and they were both about equal in how bad they were. So, and then the high points for both were, I'd say, the only thing I gotta give AEW that final segment was just, I mean, both shows ended with something amazing happening. With NXT, you end with the return of Velveteen Dream, which is amazing. I'm so glad to have him back. And then the other one, you end with just uncomfortable, feeling all different types of emotions, and just it's hard. The matches on both shows were phenomenal. There was only the one bad match for each show, and even then they weren't awful. It was just that we didn't care as much about them.
Yeah.
So this is a tough choice. Either show could get the nod. If we could give ties, I would, because this would definitely be one of those weeks.
But alas, we cannot.
We cannot. So I think I'm going to have to give it to, again, AEW, only because it's like with that Cody promo. Like, this is one of the best segments I've seen in probably ever. I mean, at least from AEW. I mean, NXT put on a phenomenal show.
Absolutely.
They did a great thing. But this is one of those things where it's like you got to recognize what you're watching, and that was amazing. So major props to you, AEW.
I told you going into the final segment of AEW that I thought I was going to choose NXT this week, and that this final segment needed to knock it out of the park. AEW is going to be my show of the week this week, and not, because I'm an AEW stan or because of the phenomenal flippy stuff. They did something tonight that wrestling fans appreciate more than any non-wrestling fan can understand. To blur the lines of reality, to make you feel genuinely uncomfortable with something that's happening in a wrestling ring when you know things are scripted, when you know things are going to happen a certain way, or you have an inkling at least. To have that blurred line, to have the emotions, to have just true violence, and a man willing to stand there and take it so long as it means he can get his hands on another man. And see, right there, I'm speaking as though Cody's going to actually just go into it like a UFC bout with MJF. Like, when you are able to blur those lines, when you are able to make wrestling fans feel that it's real again, that is when you win. That is when you do things that no one else can do. These are things like this and the Dustin Cody match at Double or Nothing. Those are things that I have not felt from WWE in years. The last time that I saw a man bleeding that bad in WWE that I felt genuinely concerned was the John Cena JBL I Quit match. That was like 2004.
I have examples, but I'm not gonna give them tonight just because I'm giving the nod.
Yeah, it's just.
But the thing with wrestling is that, professional wrestling is that it's not just about the in-ring work. It's about the whole spectacle, the show from top to finish. And when you can draw raw emotion, you can make the audience actually feel something. That's better than any 5-star classic.
And this is another thing. You go into a wrestling show and you're used to 2 emotions. You're used to the high energy happiness that you have when you see your favorite people and you see crazy moves and stuff, and the hate that you have for the bad guy. To feel anything outside of those emotions is somewhat rare in wrestling.
Unless it's boredom.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Boredom and disdain for the product, but you're not supposed to feel that.
So to feel anything outside of those 2 emotions, which we did, I think everyone did, tonight was not only refreshing, but a reminder of why I'm a wrestling fan. People ask me all the time, how can you watch that stuff? It's fake. It's stupid. I mean, and I go through all of it. I take all the questions. I roll with the punches. That is why.
It's just like watching any drama or
any
anything.
TV show.
It's generally the emotion. It's if you ask any wrestling fan what some of their most memorable moments are, it's not going to be the matches. It's not going, or maybe it'll be a moment from a match like Foley falling from the cell, but it's stuff that makes you feel something outside of just happiness or anger. It's things that draw things out of you. It's like The Undertaker, what we thought was going to be the retirement match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. It's the feud with Johnny Gargano and Ciampa, the best friends breaking up. It's
Eddie and Chris Benoit embracing with their titles at WrestleMania 20.
Yeah.
Those are the things that you take away. Those are the things you remember. This is a moment in wrestling history that we will remember forever. And I always describe it the same way with TV shows. I say the talking and stuff like that, the segments are like a drama, and the matches are like an action show. The difference is these are live performances, and these people are actually putting their bodies on the line. You're not going to see someone in an action movie get hurt. Well, that's not fair because there's
the stunt doubles and stuff.
Well, that's not. There was oh god, what's his name? His son died in a movie. Jack Lee's son. Sorry. Getting off topic. I'm not exactly
Regardless,
a movie guy.
These guys are putting their bodies on the line.
They're putting their lives on the line.
It's a live performance, so anything could go wrong at any time.
I mean, we've literally seen people die in the ring.
Yes. And all these guys know that any time they go in the ring could be their last.
It could be the last time they walk. It could be the last time they see their family. It could be...
But they do it because they love professional wrestling. They love entertaining us, the fans, and they love what they do.
And that's why we do what we do. We shell out and buy a bunch of merchandise and spend hundreds of dollars on it. And we, take trips to Chicago that I have to, find a way to pin on my parents as a, oh, you guys should go for your anniversary or whatever. Or, and spend hundreds of dollars on tickets and hotel rooms and, gas and food. And, I mean...
You don't get that kind of emotion just out of fake wrestling, out of just fake fighting. It's not just I'm going to see a 5-star classic or whatever. It's
no, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to complain.
No, I love my wrestling. I love my matches, but that's not what draws you in. That's not what hooks you. And
you know what shows this better than anything else? Any of you who are not wrestling fans that watch our channel that are somehow still watching an hour and a half into a video, go watch. Yes. Sorry, forgot we're on Spotify still. Go watch the reaction that Detroit gave to Shane McMahon when he returned.
Yes.
You want to talk about raw emotion, and then watch Shane McMahon's face. That is the perfect encapsulation of a moment.
We just talked about it literally the other week. Other raw emotion, Edge coming back from the Rumble.
Yes. The jumping for joy, the tears from fans who thought they'd never see this man wrestle again.
And the emotion on his face, because there's a connection there.
Yeah.
Being gone...
It's not a one-way street.
No, when you're that guy, you're gone for 9, 10, however many long years, And they're thinking in their mind, what if the fans have forgot about me? What if they don't care? What if I've lost my edge? What if I can't do this anymore? What if I go out and it's crickets and no one cares? And then you go out there and receive a reaction like that, crowd on their feet, they still remember everything, every chant, every move. That's a connection, and that doesn't go away. That's something that you keep with you for the rest of your life.
Well, and that's something that guys will have for the rest of their lives. I mean, Hogan gets in the ring and does
and
people cheer.
Thousands go nuts.
He hits a leg drop and people are like, oh my God, that's it.
All you have to hear is, you hear the trumpets from John Cena's theme song and immediately you're jumping on the edge of your seat. You hear, If You Smell from The Rock, and you got the millions around the world just standing up, yelling at their television sets.
The glass breaking.
Yeah.
Stone cold.
There you go, right there.
So we're going to wrap things up. We've gone a little long-winded here, but if any of you ever ask, why do you watch wrestling? Don't you get that it's fake? It's awful. It's terrible. I can't believe you watch it. Have you no heart? I mean, y'all watch, like, dramas on TV, right? And I mean, look, if you don't watch TV at all, congrats.
You watch your Surgeon Generals or whatever. I don't even know what the dramas are on TV shows. Lord knows I don't know. I don't watch the TV. I don't watch TV.
The TVs.
Yeah, I don't watch the TVs. I'm more on the YouTubes, as you can tell. So we're gonna wrap things up. This was a great night of wrestling. Thank you. You showed up and showed out tonight, Wednesday Night Wars. Thank you so much, NXT and AEW. Hopefully we get more of that, not only next week, but for the future to come. I'm looking forward to it. I know my friend Nick here is. As always, you can follow us on our social medias. Links are down in the description below. We are on YouTube, Podbean, and Spotify. Still waiting on Apple and Google to hit us up, so getting a little impatient, but it'll come around. I'm confident.
You know what, Apple? Steve Jobs would be really, really upset with you for missing out on the hottest up-and-coming professional wrestling podcast in the history of the world.
We got a revolution. It's brewing, it's coming, and you want to be on that wave. So, as always, my name is Marcus White.
My name is Nick Cavalli, live from Studio 6 in Sterling Heights. We invite you to join the revolution. Have a good one.
Have a good night, guys.